Chosen one, let's pause for a moment of honesty. There is a version of your story that only you know. It's the version no one else sees. The pain, the loneliness, the battles fought in silence. You've walked through fire, and while you stood strong on the outside, on the inside, there was a heaviness that no one could understand. Maybe right now, as you sit quietly, perhaps even holding your phone in the stillness of the night, you feel that familiar ache deep in your chest. It's the exhaustion from carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders while silently crumbling inside. You've been strong for everyone else, but who has been strong for you? You've smiled when you wanted to break down, pushed forward when you were desperate to collapse. Your heart has cried out in private, but the world only saw your victories. They missed the nights of quiet sorrow, the moments where you whispered prayers with no words left, the unseen tears, and the loneliness that no one could understand. But here's the truth that will change everything today. Human validation is often blind, but heaven has been watching every single tear you've shed. You didn't just survive, chosen one. You were being shaped, hidden by God for something greater than you can imagine. Every moment, every silent tear, every painful whisper of frustration was not unseen. It was observed, measured, and purposefully used by God to prepare you for something that public praise could never carry. And in this moment, you need to realize that your journey, though difficult, is part of the divine plan that has been unfolding in ways you might not even understand yet. You might have felt that God was silent during these dark seasons, but I'm here to tell you that God's silence isn't abandonment. It's a powerful form of divine preparation. It's in these quiet, hidden moments that God is shaping you for the glory and power that's about to unfold. You see, silence is not a sign of rejection. It's a time of observation and preparation. The very thing you've perceived as your isolation is actually your elevation. In this video, we're not just going to talk about your pain, we're going to help you understand the divine purpose behind it. Together, we're going to uncover the truth that will shift your perspective on everything. I'll give you a framework, a 3-step strategy called the Invisible Stewardship Protocol, designed to help you reclaim your power immediately, regardless of your circumstances. This isn't just advice. This is divine guidance that will take you from surviving to thriving. But to understand this fully, you need to see the divine truth behind your isolation. We will dive into the reasons God has allowed you to be hidden, the divine purpose behind your struggles, and how to walk out of this season with newfound strength, understanding, and a clear sense of your divine calling. The road ahead may have been long and painful, but the destination is near, and it's filled with the promise of something greater than anything you've ever known. Stay with me until the end, because the breakthrough you've been waiting for is hidden in the details we are about to uncover. There is an invisible battle that you, chosen one, have fought. A battle that has never been witnessed by the world. On the outside, people see your victories, your accomplishments, your moments of triumph, and they may even envy the progress you've made. They may never realize the full weight of what it has cost you to get here. They may never know the nights you lay awake, the moments you fought to keep going, or the silent tears you shed in isolation. The world applauds your strength, but it has no idea what you've carried behind closed doors. The true story is hidden beneath the surface, in the quiet, unseen spaces where no one but God has been watching. You have smiled when your heart ached. You have carried on when you were exhausted. And you've persevered even when no one else saw. What they don't know is that you've walked through fire, a fire that tested your spirit and your resolve. It was the kind of fire that didn't leave visible scars, but it refined you in ways that could only be understood by God. What people saw was the surface, the polished version of who you are, but they missed the soul-shaping work that has taken place in the unseen moments. They missed the silent struggles, the battles that no one could see but you. They missed the moments when you felt utterly alone, when the weight of the world felt too heavy to carry, and when the pain was so deep that you couldn't even put it into words. You have cried alone, hidden your heartache, and fought in silence. But the truth is, those moments of invisible struggle were not wasted. They were part of your divine preparation. While the world may have seen only your victories, heaven saw every single moment of your fight. Heaven heard every silent prayer, every whisper of despair, every groan of pain that you couldn't express aloud. God has been with you through every step of the journey, even when it felt like you were walking alone. In your darkest moments, when it seemed like the world had turned its back on you, God was right there, witnessing everything. And though no one else saw it, God has been intimately aware of your every tear, every sacrifice, and every hardship. The world may have been silent, but heaven was listening. Heaven was watching. And God has a divine purpose in every moment of struggle you've faced. You see, your pain was not ignored, nor was it a sign of rejection. It was a sign of preparation. The silent tears, the unanswered prayers, the moments when you felt unseen, they were all part of God's plan to strengthen you for the season that is coming. While others may have failed to notice the depth of your journey, heaven has been watching, and heaven has been validating your struggle. You were not overlooked. You were being refined. You were being strengthened for something far greater than you could have ever imagined. It's easy to look at others and feel like they have it all together. It's easy to feel like you're the only one who's struggled, the only one who's been left in the shadows. But I want you to understand something. There is great power in surviving the fire. You see, the fire doesn't destroy what is meant to last. It refines it. It purifies it. It strengthens it. Every trial you've walked through has been a part of God's divine process to prepare you for the next season of your life. You may not have understood it at the time, but each painful step was a step toward your elevation. God knew what you could handle. God knew that you were strong enough to endure the fire and come out refined, more powerful, and more ready than ever before. And while the world was busy admiring your public victories, heaven was busy perfecting you in private. The fire you walked through has made you stronger. It has made you more resilient. It has given you the spiritual strength to face whatever comes next. You may have felt like you were broken at times, but in reality, you were being shaped into something greater. You were being made whole in ways that only God could do. So when you look back on those hidden struggles, those moments when you felt so alone, know that they were not in vain. You have survived. You have come through the fire, and now you are stronger than ever. The strength you gained in those moments is a strength that no one else can take away from you. It is a strength that has been forged in the furnace of hardship and tested by the fires of life. And now, as you stand at the threshold of the next season, you carry that strength with you. You carry the knowledge that you can endure, that you can overcome, and that you can rise above whatever challenges may come your way. You have been tested, chosen one, and you have passed the test. What you may have thought were moments of defeat were actually moments of victory. You have been refined. You have been prepared. And now, you are ready to step into the next chapter of your journey, stronger, wiser, and more equipped than ever before. The invisible battles you faced have only made you who you are today. And the best part is, you are just getting started. The public victories you will soon experience will pale in comparison to the glory that God has been preparing you for. Chosen one, I know that you've wondered at times why God seems so silent. It's a feeling that weighs heavily on your heart. A silence that has led to questions about whether you've been abandoned, whether you've been overlooked or forgotten. In the stillness, when you've reached out, when you've prayed, and when you've waited, it can feel as though heaven has closed its doors. But I need you to hear this truth. God's silence is not a rejection. It's a divine strategy, a sacred act of protection and preparation. Silence in the kingdom is not a sign of abandonment. It is an intentional and powerful moment designed by God to shape you, to prepare you for what is to come, and to refine your character. While the world may not understand it, God knows exactly what He is doing in this season of your life. The silence is not the absence of God. It's the moment of trust. Just as a teacher remains quiet during an exam, trusting the student to work through the questions alone, God's silence is the divine opportunity for you to show what He's instilled in you. This silence is a season of observation, not abandonment. God has not left you. He is watching, observing, and allowing you to rise on your own, knowing that you are ready for what lies ahead. He trusts you enough to be quiet while you navigate your challenges. Imagine yourself in the middle of an important exam where the teacher doesn't speak. The teacher doesn't speak because they believe in you. They trust that you have the wisdom and understanding to answer the questions, even in their silence. The same is true with God. He is not silent because He's forgotten you. He is silent because He has already equipped you with everything you need to pass the test. You may feel alone in this moment, but God is simply watching you grow into the fullness of your potential. He is allowing you to trust in the strength He's given you. And in this trust, your faith will deepen. You may not hear His voice in the way you want right now, but His presence is more powerful than any words could ever be. You are not alone in your silence. You are in a place of divine training. Consider the Adullam season in King David's life. Before he became the king of Israel, before he was celebrated as the man after God's own heart, he spent years in isolation in the cave of Adullam. David was hidden away in a place of rejection, loneliness, and struggle. It was in that cave, that place of isolation, where David's character was developed, where he learned to rely completely on God, and where his leadership was forged. The cave wasn't a place of abandonment, it was a place of preparation. David's time in Adullam was essential for the man he would become. If God had elevated him to the throne too soon, if David had ascended to greatness before his time in the cave, he would have lacked the maturity and the foundation to carry the responsibility of ruling a nation. It was in the darkness, in the quiet, that David's heart was shaped. He learned the lessons that would one day allow him to be the kind of king who could lead with wisdom, humility, and strength. That cave was not a place of punishment. It was the very place of his preparation. The isolation he experienced wasn't rejection. It was the setting for his elevation. Your current season of silence, chosen one, is not meant to break you. It is meant to build you. It's a season of learning, of preparation, and of divine training. The silence you experience is not a lack of progress. It is the quiet before the breakthrough. God knows the timing of your elevation, and He understands that certain aspects of your character need to be strengthened and matured before you step into the fullness of your purpose. Just like David, You are being prepared for greatness, but this greatness is being cultivated in the quiet. God's methods of growth often don't make sense in the moment. They don't always align with the timelines we create for ourselves. We want to move quickly, to have the world see us for who we are right now. But God, in His wisdom, knows that the public victories must come after the private preparation. Without the silence, without the time spent in isolation, we are not fully ready to carry the weight of the purpose that is ahead. You see, isolation is not punishment. It is divine protection. It is God's way of preserving you, refining you, and making you ready to carry the responsibility that comes with your calling. If you were thrust into the limelight before your character was fully formed, before you had fully learned how to stand strong on your own, it would be too much to bear. The weight of the world would crush you, because you would not yet have the inner strength or the foundation to handle it. God loves you too much to expose you to that before you are ready. The silence is not punishment. It is a protective covering, a shield that ensures you are shielded from the distractions, the pressures, and the potential dangers of premature elevation. It's in this hidden season that God is strengthening you. He is purging the things in your heart that would hold you back. He is helping you grow in wisdom, in humility, and in understanding. And as you embrace this season, trust that He is preparing you for something far beyond what you could imagine. You are not forgotten. You are being molded for a higher purpose. The silence is your training ground, not your graveyard. So don't be discouraged by what feels like abandonment. Don't be fooled by the quiet. It's in this space that God is doing His most important work in you. The isolation, the stillness, the silence, they are not signs of rejection. They are signs that God is preparing you for the fullness of your calling. Just like David in the cave of Adullam, you are being shaped for greatness. Trust that God's timing is perfect, and when the time is right, He will lift you from this season of isolation and place you in the position He's been preparing you for all along. Until then, remain faithful in the silence. Continue to trust, continue to grow, and continue to believe that your elevation is coming. God has been silent, but He has not forgotten you. He has been working behind the scenes, building your character and preparing you for the victory that is about to come. Your time in the quiet is not wasted. It is your time to grow. Embrace it. Chosen one, I know you felt it. The deep, gnawing sense of injustice that rises up when you see others around you, people who don't walk in righteousness, people who cut corners, lie, and deceive, prospering in ways that seem unimaginable. You've been faithful. You've done your best to stay true, to live with integrity, to honor the path God has set before you. Yet, as you look around, it feels as though those who are willing to compromise and forsake their values are the ones who are winning. You've watched people who don't seem to care about the truth, people who seem to have no fear of God, getting ahead. And you, who have remained committed to the truth, who have walked in faith, continue to struggle. The promotion you've worked for slips through your fingers. The doors you prayed would open stay shut. And the opportunities you've earned seem to be given to those who didn't put in the same effort, who didn't stay true to what's right. It's a painful feeling, chosen one. The sting of watching others succeed when you've been faithful and true can feel like betrayal. You've given your all, yet it seems like those who deceive and cheat are the ones walking in favor, while you are left in the shadows, waiting, wondering, and struggling. The question that rises in your heart is this: why, God? Why do the wicked prosper, while I, who have remained true, seem to be left behind? Why does it feel like my honesty, my integrity, my commitment to doing things the right way is costing me everything, while others who disregard these things seem to flourish. The feelings of betrayal are real. They hurt. And it's easy to let these feelings fester, to begin to doubt whether God really sees you, whether He really cares about your faithfulness, whether He even notices the suffering that comes with doing things His way. But I want to remind you of something incredibly important. God sees your pain. He sees every tear, every disappointment, every moment of frustration you've faced in this season. He sees the battles you fight in the quiet, the struggles that no one else can understand. And even when the world doesn't acknowledge your faithfulness, God does. Your journey is not unseen. You are not forgotten. Your time is coming, and the story you are living is far from over. Let's take a moment to reflect on the story of Hagar, a woman who experienced a deep injustice and betrayal, yet found validation and purpose in the eyes of God. Hagar was a servant in the household of Sarah and Abraham. She was used to fulfill a promise that was not her own. And when things got complicated, when the child she bore caused tension, she was cast aside. Hagar was left in the wilderness, alone, rejected, and seemingly forgotten. She felt abandoned by the very people who had once valued her. She had been used, then discarded, left with nothing but the wilderness and the feeling that she was unworthy of love or purpose. But what happened next was nothing short of a divine intervention. In the midst of her isolation, in the midst of her pain and abandonment, God appeared to Hagar. He didn't give her gold or riches. He didn't immediately fix her circumstances or punish those who had wronged her. No, what God gave her was far more valuable. He gave her validation. He showed her that even when the world had forgotten her, He had not. She was seen. And not just seen, but loved and given a purpose. Hagar became the first person in the Bible to give God a specific name. El Roi, the God who sees me. This moment is a reminder to you, chosen one, that even when you feel invisible, even when it seems like your faithfulness is going unnoticed, God sees you. Your pain does not escape His notice. Your struggles are not ignored. God has been watching you every step of the way, and He will validate you in due time. Just as Hagar was given validation in the wilderness, you too will receive the validation that your heart longs for. You might feel like a background character in someone else's story right now. You might feel like you're stuck in the shadows while others seem to have it all: wealth, success, recognition. But I need you to hear this. Your time is coming. The validation you seek is not found in the approval of others, and it certainly isn't found in the fleeting success of those who take shortcuts. The validation you need comes from God alone, and when He validates you, it is more powerful, more lasting, and more fulfilling than anything this world can offer. Your story is not over, and just as God did not forget Hagar, He has not forgotten you. Your suffering, your pain, your sense of injustice, God is using it all to shape you, to prepare you for the blessings that are ahead. In due time, the doors will open for you. The recognition that you've been waiting for will come, but it will come on God's terms, in God's timing, and it will be far more meaningful and lasting than anything you could have earned on your own. The world may seem unfair at times. It may seem like the wicked prosper and the righteous struggle. But remember, chosen one, this world system is temporary, and the rewards of this world are fleeting. What God has for you is eternal, and it is worth the wait. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. Your time will come, And when it does, it will be because God has validated you, because He has seen every tear, every moment of endurance, every act of faithfulness, and He will reward you according to His perfect plan. Trust in His timing. Trust that your story is unfolding exactly as it should, and in the end, it will be far more glorious than you can imagine. The wicked may prosper for a season, but the righteous will be rewarded for eternity. And that is where your true victory lies. Chosen one, have you ever considered the hidden years of Jesus' life? Before He performed miracles, before He raised the dead, healed the sick, and fed the thousands, Jesus spent 30 years in obscurity, living a quiet, humble life that few people ever noticed. Those years were not marked by public fame or extraordinary signs. Instead, they were filled with everyday tasks, learning, and growing in wisdom. For 30 years, Jesus lived largely unnoticed by the masses, living the life of a carpenter in a small town called Nazareth. Imagine that, the Savior of the world, the one who would eventually lead a revolution of faith, spent 3 decades in relative silence. Why did God allow this? Why did Jesus, who was destined for greatness, spend so many years hidden in the shadows? It's a profound question, but the answer holds a key to understanding your own hidden season, chosen one. Jesus' hidden years were not a waste of time. They were part of the divine preparation for His public ministry. God allowed Him to grow in humility, to learn the lessons that would form the foundation of His mission. Those years in silence and obscurity were critical for the development of the strength, wisdom, and character that would sustain Him in the years of public ministry. It was during those years of quiet preparation that Jesus learned the value of obedience to God's will, even when the world wasn't paying attention. He learned the discipline of waiting for the right moment to step into His purpose. The importance of those hidden years cannot be overstated. They were not a sign that Jesus was forgotten or that His mission was delayed. On the contrary, they were a sign of divine preparation, a time where God was shaping Him for the task ahead. God, in His perfect wisdom, knew that Jesus could not step into His calling until He had been prepared in the quiet. In fact, Jesus' hidden years were an essential part of His training. Those 30 years gave Him the opportunity to understand the human condition deeply, something that would prove invaluable when He began His ministry. He lived as one of us, experiencing the struggles, temptations, and limitations that we face every day. He experienced the joy of family, the pain of loss, the frustration of hard work, and the joy of simple life. This deep understanding of humanity would allow Him to relate to the people He would soon serve. And without those years of hiddenness, He would not have been able to carry the weight of His public calling. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on your own journey, chosen one. Just as Jesus spent years in hiddenness before stepping into His purpose, you too may be in a season of waiting. A season where the world doesn't see the fullness of who you are or the greatness you are destined for. You might feel as though your purpose has been delayed or that you are being overlooked. It's easy to look at others who are stepping into the spotlight and wonder why you are still waiting. But I want to remind you that hiddenness is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of divine preparation. Just as Jesus' hidden years were necessary for His eventual rise to greatness, your time in the shadows is essential for your future success. This season of obscurity, while difficult, is preparing you for something far greater. It's during this time that God is refining you, shaping your character, and building the foundation that will allow you to handle the weight of your calling when the time comes. If Jesus had not spent those years in hiddenness, If he had rushed into his ministry prematurely, he would not have been able to endure the challenges that came with it. The crowds, the pressure, the opposition, these things would have crushed him if he had not first been shaped in the quiet. Likewise, you are being shaped in your season of waiting. This hidden time is not wasted. It is not a punishment. It is a process of spiritual growth and maturity that will equip you to handle the success, the responsibility, and the influence that God is preparing you for. Just like Jesus, you too are learning lessons in the silence. You are learning to trust God more deeply. You are learning the value of humility, patience, and obedience. And when the time comes for you to step into the light, you will be ready. The hiddenness you feel now is necessary for your eventual promotion. It is in this season that God is equipping you with the tools you will need to fulfill your calling. Without it, you may not be able to bear the weight of the calling that awaits you. So trust in God's timing, chosen one. Just as Jesus' 30 years in Nazareth were necessary for his ministry, your time in obscurity is necessary for the greatness God has in store for you. When the time is right, he will step you into the fullness of your purpose. And you will look back on this season of hiddenness and realize that it was the very thing that prepared you for the destiny you were meant to fulfill. Remember, in the silence, you are not alone. You are being prepared. You are being equipped. And when God finally unveils you, when he calls you into the spotlight, you will be ready. Not because of what you did in the public eye, but because of what God did in you during the quiet moments. Your hidden years are not wasted. They are the soil from which your purpose will spring. Embrace them, trust in them, and know that in time, you will see the beauty that God has been crafting in your life all along. Chosen one, there comes a moment when surviving is no longer enough. Survival keeps you breathing, but it does not restore your strength. Survival keeps you standing, but it does not return your authority. And you have been in survival mode for a long time. You have learned how to endure pressure, how to keep showing up even when your heart felt empty, how to function while carrying unspoken grief. But God never designed you to live permanently in survival. This season you are in now is not just about making it through another day. It is about learning how to steward what you have been given, so that you can move from merely enduring life to actually thriving within it. This is where the invisible stewardship protocol becomes essential, because God does not waste seasons. He uses them. He trains through them. He develops authority inside them. And what you are being given now is not just comfort, but a framework, a way of operating that allows you to reclaim your power even before circumstances change. This protocol is not flashy. It does not rely on applause, recognition, or external validation. It works in secret, just like God does his deepest work in secret. The invisible stewardship protocol is how you shift your internal posture so that your external breakthrough can eventually follow. It begins with understanding that your power has never been taken from you. It has only been scattered by exhaustion, disappointment, and misplaced focus. The first restoration comes when you establish what is known as the audience of one. For too long, you have been unconsciously performing for people who were never qualified to judge you. You have tried to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You have adjusted your behavior, your tone, your boundaries, and even your calling to gain approval from people who could never validate what God placed inside you. This constant auditioning has drained your energy, fractured your focus, and quietly eroded your joy. Establishing the audience of one means you make a deliberate internal decision that God alone is the primary witness of your life. It means that whether anyone claps, notices, or affirms you becomes secondary to whether heaven is pleased. When you wake up and work, when you serve, when you build, when you create, you are no longer asking, "Who is watching me?" but rather, "Is God honored by how I am doing this?" This shift changes everything. The pressure lifts. The anxiety dissolves. The fear of being misunderstood loses its grip. Because when God becomes the only audience that matters, you stop performing and start functioning in freedom. Excellence is no longer about being seen. It becomes an offering. And when you live this way, even mundane tasks carry weight, because they are done with integrity before heaven. The second movement of this protocol deepens the work by inviting you into what can be called an emotional audit. This is where many people resist because they confuse faith with emotional suppression. You were taught, directly or indirectly, that strength means silence, that maturity means never admitting pain, that belief means ignoring how deeply something hurt you. But that is not faith. That is denial. And denial does not heal. It hardens. God never asked you to pretend you were not wounded. He asked you to bring your wounds to Him. An emotional audit is the courageous act of naming what you feel, without judgment or shame. It is the moment you stop minimizing your pain and start acknowledging it in God's presence. It is when you finally say, "I am tired," without apologizing for it. "I am disappointed," without feeling weak. "I am grieving what I thought would happen by now." When you do this, something powerful happens. The weight you have been carrying internally begins to transfer. You were never meant to carry it alone. Even Jesus wept. Even Jesus felt sorrow. Emotional honesty does not disqualify you. It positions you for healing. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel, and God cannot restore what you keep hidden behind spiritual language. The emotional audit allows God to access places in your heart that have been closed off for survival. It restores sensitivity where numbness had taken over. It reconnects you to yourself in a healthy way. And this honesty does not weaken your faith. It strengthens it, because now your faith is rooted in truth rather than performance. The third movement of the invisible stewardship protocol is what can be called the silence fast. This is not merely about physical quiet. It is about intentionally starving the sources of noise that have been draining your spiritual clarity. Comparison is one of the loudest distractions in this season. Every time you scroll and measure your behind the scenes against someone else's highlight reel, something inside you fractures. Your confidence weakens. Your peace erodes. Your sense of timing becomes distorted. The silence fast is a decision to temporarily disengage from voices that do not feed your destiny. It is choosing to limit input so you can increase discernment. God often whispers, and whispers cannot be heard in a room full of shouting. When you fast from noise, from constant updates, from other people's opinions and outcomes, you create space for alignment. In that space, clarity returns. Your intuition sharpens. Your identity stabilizes. You begin to remember who you were before disappointment taught you to doubt yourself. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is a womb. It is where new strength forms. It is where wisdom settles. It is where your spirit recalibrates to God's frequency instead of the world's urgency. Through this fast, you begin to notice how much of your anxiety was never yours to begin with. It was absorbed from comparison, from pressure, from expectations that were not assigned to you. As the noise fades, peace becomes louder. Direction becomes clearer. Confidence becomes steadier. When you practice the audience of one, the emotional audit, and the silence fast together, something profound happens. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You are no longer just enduring days, you are stewarding them. You begin to realize that thriving is not dependent on external change first. It begins with internal alignment. God often shifts you before He shifts your circumstances, because the version of you that survives is not always the version that can sustain success. This protocol rebuilds you from the inside out. It restores authority quietly. It strengthens you without spectacle. And when the external breakthrough eventually comes, it does not overwhelm you because you are already grounded. You are no longer desperate for validation because your identity is secure. You are no longer afraid of silence because you understand its purpose. You are no longer crushed by waiting because you know how to steward it. This is how God prepares His chosen ones, not through constant movement, but through deep alignment. And as you apply this invisible stewardship protocol, you are not just surviving this season, you are mastering it. You are becoming someone who can carry what is coming without losing yourself. And that, chosen one, is the difference between barely making it through and stepping fully into the life you were always meant to live. Chosen one, if you have been in a season of spiritual growth, you likely know that healing doesn't only happen in the mind or spirit. The journey to wholeness touches every part of who you are, including your physical body. It's easy to think that emotional and spiritual healing are the only steps necessary for breakthrough. But I want to invite you to consider the role your body plays in your healing process. Trauma is not only an emotional burden, it's also a physical one. The pain you've experienced, the weight of past disappointments, losses, and fears does not simply disappear once the event is over. Trauma doesn't stay locked in the past. It attaches itself to your body. Your mind may have moved on, but the body often holds on to the pain far longer than you realize. It can manifest in physical ways: tightness in your chest, chronic pain in your back, headaches, fatigue, or a constant sense of being overwhelmed, even when nothing around you feels particularly stressful. This pain can become a block to your healing, affecting your energy, your mood, and your ability to fully embrace the blessings that God has in store for you. It may even prevent you from stepping into the abundance that is waiting to be released. Why? Because unresolved trauma creates blockages. These blockages prevent you from accessing the full flow of spiritual blessings and resources. Your body becomes a vessel that is carrying not just the weight of your present experiences, but also the weight of the past. The emotional wounds that you have not fully healed from, the grief that you have not fully processed, and the trauma that you have not fully released, all become physical barriers that limit your ability to receive the goodness and abundance that God has planned for you. So, how do we begin to release these blockages? How do we heal the vessel so that it can receive all that God is ready to give? This is where the Wealth DNA protocol comes into play. The Wealth DNA protocol is a powerful sound frequency technology designed to target the trauma that is stored in your body at a cellular level. It works by releasing the energy blockages that are created by past experiences, clearing away the emotional residue that has been locked in your cells. This technology uses frequency waves to gently but deeply heal the body, dissolving the physical manifestations of trauma and allowing you to access a state of healing that is both spiritual and physical. The beauty of this protocol is that it doesn't just work on the surface level. It works deep within the body, addressing the root cause of your pain. The release of these blockages opens the way for abundance, divine, financial, and relational blessings that have been waiting for you. As these energy blockages clear, your body becomes more open to the flow of blessings that God wants to pour into your life. And this process doesn't just stop with physical healing. It leads to emotional and spiritual healing as well. The body, mind, and spirit are not separate. They are intricately connected, and healing one aspect leads to the healing of the others. The emotional and spiritual healing you've been working on becomes more effective when the physical body is cleared of the stored trauma that has been weighing it down. This is why it is so crucial to pay attention to your body and to address any physical pain or discomfort that may be holding on to old wounds. When you begin to release the trauma stored in your body, you free yourself to fully embrace the next chapter of your life. The emotional wounds that have kept you stuck in the past are healed. The limiting beliefs that have held you back from stepping into your destiny are removed. And you are left standing, ready to receive everything that God has planned for you. But this process requires you to be intentional. Healing the vessel is not something that happens automatically. It requires effort and commitment. It requires you to take a deep, honest look at the trauma that has been stored in your body and to release it. It requires you to listen to your body, to be aware of the ways that past experiences have impacted you, and to take steps to heal on all levels, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And as you do this, you are preparing yourself to receive the abundance that God is about to release in your life. The abundance that is waiting for you is not just financial or material. It is the abundance of peace, of joy, of confidence, of alignment with God's will. It is the abundance of being fully whole, fully restored, and fully capable of stepping into the destiny that God has always intended for you. So, chosen one, I encourage you to embrace this process of healing. Start by releasing the trauma that has been held in your body. Take the time to listen to your body, to notice the places where pain or tension resides, and allow God's healing power to move through you. Use the Wealth DNA protocol or any other tools that God has made available to help you release the blocks that are keeping you from experiencing the fullness of His blessings. As you do this, you will find that the flow of abundance becomes more evident in every area of your life. Financial resources will begin to flow more easily. Relationships will become more harmonious. Opportunities will open up to you in ways that you never expected. But most importantly, you will experience the profound peace that comes from knowing that you are fully aligned with God's plan for your life. Healing your vessel is not just about eliminating physical pain. It's about opening up to the fullness of God's blessings. When you release the trauma stored in your body, you open the floodgates to abundance in all its forms. Your body will no longer be a barrier to the blessings that God has been waiting to pour into your life. You will be able to fully receive and enjoy the abundance that He has already prepared for you. So, chosen one, take a deep breath and commit to the healing process. Release the trauma that has held you back and get ready for the abundant life that is waiting for you. It's time to heal the vessel, to release the pain, and to step into the fullness of what God has in store. Your abundance is coming, and it starts with healing the vessel. Chosen one, I want you to take a moment and reflect on where you are in your journey. For so long, you felt like a victim of your circumstances, like life has been an endless series of struggles and battles, with each challenge seeming more insurmountable than the last. But I want to offer you a perspective that will change everything. You are not a victim. You are a vessel. The struggles you've faced, the pain you've endured, the confusion you've lived through, these are not marks of weakness. They are signs of your transformation. God is doing something in you, and it's time to see it for what it truly is. The refining process of a chosen vessel being shaped for greatness. It's easy to fall into the trap of victimhood when life feels heavy, when the world seems against you, and when your dreams feel out of reach. It's easy to look at your circumstances and feel powerless, like you're at the mercy of forces beyond your control. But God doesn't see you as a victim. He sees you as someone in the process of being transformed, someone who is being molded and shaped for a divine purpose that is far greater than you can imagine. Your struggles, while painful, are not random. They are part of God's divine plan for you. Each challenge you've faced, each obstacle that has stood in your way, has been part of a process that is moving you from being a survivor of your circumstances to becoming a steward of God's blessings and purpose. You are not here just to survive the battles. You are here to steward what God is preparing you for. And that shift, from seeing yourself as a victim to embracing the role of steward, is one of the most powerful shifts you will ever make in your journey. The pressure you've experienced is not punishment. It is purification. Think about coal. Under immense pressure, coal is transformed into a diamond. The coal doesn't become a diamond because it's comfortable or because it's easy. No, the transformation happens because of the weight, the pressure, and the force applied to it. And in much the same way, you are being shaped. The struggles you've endured, the moments that have felt like too much to bear, have been the pressure that is transforming you into something more precious, more valuable, and more refined than you can imagine. God uses pressure to prepare us. He allows us to walk through seasons of discomfort, knowing that on the other side of that pressure is a version of us that we would never have become without it. It's easy to resent the pressure, to wish for relief, and to wonder why things can't just be easier. But the truth is, the very pressure you've resisted is what God has used to refine you, to build your strength, to deepen your faith, and to draw you closer to your true identity in Him. This is not about enduring suffering for suffering's sake. This is about transformation. God's refining process doesn't make sense in the moment, but it is the very thing that prepares you for what lies ahead. As you come through the pressure, you will emerge stronger, purer, and more equipped for the calling that awaits you. This is the beautiful paradox of God's work. He takes what seems like pain and uses it to bring forth something more glorious than you could ever imagine. You are not just enduring, you are being refined. And through this refining, you are receiving a new identity. You are no longer defined by your struggles or by the circumstances that have tried to define you. You are not a victim. You are a chosen vessel for God's glory. This is the moment when God is giving you a new name, a new identity. You are no longer the person who has been beaten down by life. You are no longer the person who has been overlooked, neglected, or rejected. You are no longer a victim of your past. You are a vessel of God's glory. You are a container of His power, His wisdom, and His purpose. The name you've carried up until now, the name that was given to you by your circumstances, by your pain, by your disappointments, is being replaced by a new name. This new name speaks of your true identity in Christ. It speaks of the victory that is already yours, the power that resides within you, and the calling that has been placed on your life. God has called you for a specific purpose, and that purpose is not limited by the struggles of your past. It is not defined by the pain you've endured. You are now a vessel, chosen and equipped by God to carry His glory into the world. Embrace this new name. Embrace this new identity. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what God is doing in you. Your pain does not define you. Your perseverance does. Your ability to rise, to endure, and to overcome is what shapes your identity in the eyes of God. And when you step into this new identity, you will begin to see the transformation in every area of your life. Your relationships will shift. Your perspective will shift. Your approach to challenges will shift. Because when you see yourself as a vessel chosen by God for a divine purpose, you begin to operate from a place of power, not weakness. You begin to move through life with confidence, knowing that you are equipped for whatever comes your way. So, chosen one, let this be the moment when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as a vessel of God's glory. The pressure you've endured has been part of your divine preparation. The struggles you've faced have been the process that has refined you. And now, you are stepping into the fullness of your identity in Christ. This new identity will carry you through every season of life, every challenge, and every breakthrough. You are not just surviving, you are thriving, and you are stepping into the power and authority that God has always intended for you to carry. This is the transformation into a chosen vessel. This is your time. Step forward with confidence, knowing that the best is yet to come. Chosen one, as you continue on your journey, it is essential to understand the full depth of what this transformation means. This is not a mere change in circumstance. This is a fundamental shift in your identity. The pressure, the refining, and the transformation that you have undergone are preparing you to step into a new realm of divine purpose and responsibility. It is not just about what you have been through, it is about what you are becoming. The process of transformation is more than the trials you face. It is the spiritual evolution that allows you to step into your God-given authority. As you shift from a victim to a steward, you begin to see the divine purpose in every struggle, every challenge, every heartbreak. The hardships that once seemed like stumbling blocks become stepping stones toward your greater purpose. They are not marks of your failure, but instead, evidence of your growth. God does not waste any experience. Every painful moment, every tear shed, every silent prayer whispered in the night has a purpose. They are shaping you into a vessel that can carry the weight of the glory that is about to be revealed. The shift from surviving to thriving does not happen overnight. It requires you to let go of old identities and false narratives that you have carried for too long. It means stepping into a new mindset, one where you recognize that you were never meant to merely exist in this world, but to have a profound impact on it. You are being called to steward the blessings, the gifts, and the power that God is about to release into your life. This is not a task for the faint-hearted. It is a calling for those who have endured, those who have been shaped in the fires of life, and who now stand ready to carry a greater purpose. This process of shifting from victimhood to stewardship also requires you to embrace the pressure that comes with your calling. The pressure to remain faithful when others have given up. The pressure to rise when you've been knocked down. The pressure to trust in God's timing when everything around you feels uncertain. This pressure, chosen one, is not here to break you. It is here to mold you, refine you, and make you stronger. Just like coal transforms into a diamond under intense heat and pressure, you are being transformed into something rare, valuable, and enduring. The pressure is part of God's divine method of shaping you into the vessel that He can use for His glory. You may feel the weight of this pressure, especially in moments when the world seems to move on without you. But I want you to understand something. You are not being crushed. You are being prepared. God is allowing the pressure to shape you into a person who is capable of handling the blessings and responsibilities that are coming your way. When you emerge from this season, you will not only be able to carry the weight of your calling, but you will also be able to steward it with wisdom, strength, and grace. You will no longer be caught off guard by the challenges that come your way. Instead, you will approach them with confidence, knowing that every obstacle you face is part of your divine preparation. This new identity that God is giving you is not just a name change. It is a complete transformation of who you are at the core. You are no longer the person who cowers in the face of adversity. You are the person who rises with courage, who faces the storms of life with unwavering faith, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. You are no longer the person who waits for others to validate your worth. You are the person who knows that your worth comes from God alone, and that His approval is all you need. When you step into this new identity, you will begin to see the world differently. The things that once seemed impossible will become opportunities for growth. The people who once seemed like obstacles will become partners in your journey. The challenges you once dreaded will become stepping stones that lead you closer to your divine purpose. And the most beautiful part is that you won't face any of this alone. God is not just walking with you through this transformation. He is the one orchestrating every step of it. He is the one who is shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for the glorious future that lies ahead. As you embrace this transformation into a chosen vessel, I want you to remember one thing. This is just the beginning. What you have experienced up until now has been necessary for your preparation. The best is yet to come. The identity you are stepping into will be far more powerful, far more impactful than anything you've ever known. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a vessel chosen by God to carry His glory and His power into the world. God has entrusted you with a purpose that is unique to you. It is a purpose that only you can fulfill, and it is a purpose that will change the world around you. This is the moment to step fully into who you are becoming. No more hiding, no more shrinking back. You are meant for greatness, and God has been preparing you for this moment your entire life. So, chosen one, as you stand on the threshold of this new chapter, I want you to embrace it with confidence. Embrace the pressure, embrace the transformation, and embrace the new identity that God is giving you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a chosen vessel, called to carry His glory into the world. This is your time. This is your season. And with God by your side, there is nothing you cannot overcome. Step forward in faith, knowing that you are becoming the person God always intended you to be. The transformation is complete. The chosen vessel has emerged. Chosen one, as we come to the end of this journey, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the transformation that has taken place within you. You've endured a season of hiddenness, a season where your faith was tested, your strength was refined, and your character was shaped. But what you may not have realized is that this season was not meant to break you. It was meant to build you. And now, you stand on the threshold of something greater. You are ready for the elevation that awaits you. The waiting is over. The desert season has ended, and you are now prepared to step into the divine purpose that God has had for you all along. The transformation that has taken place within you has equipped you with everything you need to step into this next chapter with strength, grace, and confidence. You are no longer the person who merely survived the trials. You are the person who has been refined through the fire and is now ready to carry the mantle of your divine calling. The approval you've been seeking, the recognition you've longed for, it's already been granted. Heaven has seen you, chosen one. And today, as you stand in the fullness of your transformation, you receive the final seal of divine approval. God is affirming your identity. He is sealing you with the authority to step into your calling. This is not just a symbolic moment. This is a spiritual transformation, a moment where God breathes new life into your purpose and equips you with everything you need to carry it forward. The weight of your struggles has made you stronger, and now you carry the power to walk confidently into your destiny. You are no longer defined by the trials you faced. You are defined by the purpose you are about to fulfill. I want you to visualize this moment. See yourself standing before God, receiving the new identity He has for you. Hear Him say, "Well done, my faithful one. You are ready." The assignment you've been called to is not small. It is a divine purpose that will change the world around you. And now, as you step forward, you do so with a new sense of authority, a new sense of purpose, and a deep understanding of who you are in God's eyes. You are not just a survivor. You are a vessel for God's glory. You are the one He has chosen to bring His light into the world. You are the one He has called to impact the lives of others. You are not walking into this new season alone. God is walking with you, and He will equip you every step of the way. The waiting is over, and the time to step into your divine calling has arrived. But with this new identity comes a new responsibility. The next season of your life will require you to remain aligned with God's timing, to stay rooted in His Word, and to walk in obedience to His leading. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to rise and claim the purpose God has given you. I encourage you to stay engaged with God's timing. Trust that He has orchestrated every detail of your journey, and that He is guiding you into this new season with precision and purpose. As you step into your calling, know that every step is ordained by Him. Share this message with others. Let them know that there is a purpose for their lives too. Encourage them to step into their own divine purpose and walk in the authority that God has given them. Share your testimony and inspire others to believe that their waiting seasons are not in vain. As you continue on this journey, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the next chapter in this journey of transformation. This is just the beginning, chosen one. The best is yet to come. Your divine purpose awaits. Step into it with confidence, knowing that you are exactly where God has called you to be. You are ready.